Hey YouTube, Sam here. Well, it's that time of year. It's getting cold out, and I'm once again didn't have the money to replace the windows in my house, so next option is to put up this plastic. You can buy these kits. You could also get some double-sided tape and a bunch of plastic and basically do the same thing, but honestly, if you go at the end of the year after the snow's blew and it's starting to warm up, there's always tons of these on the shelf for $1 or less. I've got them for like 38 cents before, whole boxes of these things. So really, by the time you buy some double-sided tape or any kind of tape for that matter, you've already spent the money. So without further ado, I'm going to put this stuff up. Figure I might as well film it. There might be some of you wondering if it works. Definitely works in our house. We got some really drafty windows, and every year I end up doing this, hoping that the next summer I'll be able to put some windows in, but so far that hasn't happened in what, 20 something years we've been here. But we've gotten a few new windows in here and there. We do it a little at a time as we can afford it. You can do the same thing, but until then you can do this. Well, this is pretty simple, YouTube. It comes with the double-sided tape. You put one side, has sticky, the other side has a peel off piece that you take off when you're all done. But you can go right next to the windows if you want. Whatever you want to do each window separately. I find it's easier, and actually I think works a little better because you get a little bit of an air gap in between, just to actually go on the outer edge of the window. I do find it is more difficult for it to stick here by the end of the year. Usually it's kind of peeling off the bottom down here, but what can you do? First you start out, you wash it best you can. You know, I don't spend hours scraping and trying to wash every little piece of dust off. Probably should, but I don't. And so far it works pretty well for me. And I just take it along this edge and I go all the way around. Get yourself a good sharp knife, and at each corner I'll take it off like that. Now, one secret, when you go to peel this stuff off of here, make sure you haven't covered over an end of it with this. It makes it a lot more difficult to peel that off of there, so you want to make sure you don't really overlap them. Just kind of butt them up next to each other and head down. Alright. Sometimes if you actually take the tip of your knife, poke it in toward, here's the cut part, I'll show you that. That's how it's cut. You want to actually poke it in a little bit this direction, and it's probably going to be harder on there, but then you can take it and it peels off just the white part right there. It didn't work because this is obviously going to come off easier, but that's basically the idea. Poke it in this way and you actually get up underneath there, and then you can kind of take it when it peels up. Oop, I'm not in the camera here. Anyway, and peel it back just like that. So hopefully that made sense. And then you can see this comes on a big long sheet all the way out there. Ah, there's the cat. Say hi to Spencer. Anyhow, so you're just gonna lay that out. Then I'll show you what to do next. Hey, Spence. The outer layer of the tape on both sides and the top. I left it on the bottom because I find that once it drapes down, it'll get caught on there, and then you're trying to wrestle with it. It's just easier just to leave the bottom that way. And then you want to figure out which end of this, where there's the one corner piece right there. You don't want to let this go completely crazy. And then you're going to grab that and go ahead and kind of just peel part of it away. I usually try and get the two corners, part of the top, and I'll start on this side over here. And you want to make sure you're on the top, you're pretty level, so that when you put this across here, it's not going to want to, you know, drape down that way. You're going to be pulling up on it and it'll rip. This stuff rips really easy. So I'm going to go along, I'm going to get a pretty good gist of where the top is. And then I'm going to leave probably 3-4 inches on the side here, which that way, if it's not perfectly plumb or level, you're going to hit it on the side. The main thing is making sure your top is pretty well level. Get the top corner out there. I am going to leave a couple inches at the top just for good measure. And there you go. See, this stuff sticks really quick. I didn't go enough on the side. But now I'm going to stick it on that corner and bring it up and over as far as I can. And then you can pretty much level it out. Take this edge over here, try and keep the same however many inches that you can. That way you know you're pretty close. Now you're not trying to make this all wrinkle free or anything, that comes a lot later. And then we're going to undo this. And you'll have enough to do at least probably, you know, one big window like this or 4 smaller windows like this, plus a little bit left over for a basement window or something like that, a smaller window. It comes with plenty to do, quite a bit. I'm going to come along, I'm going to try that, and like I said, this is part of the thing of getting it level, is I'm barely hitting this corner over here with the edge of this, so that's why you want to give yourself a little bit of room. I'm trying not to let that side hit yet, but it did. And try and lift up on it. Now I'm going to go ahead, it's kind of unwieldy, try and get a good purchase over here, and just kind of start at the top. I've got a pretty good purchase. Give it a little bit of a tug from that side over there. You know, it doesn't have to be super tight. You know, try and get it, you know, decently tight, and just go down the line. And we're pretty well. I didn't kind of go over the whole thing. I don't know if heat helps, but it does seem to help to do the whole thing. Otherwise, you'll get little gaps where it'll start bubbling out on you. Some of this tape, you know, after a while will start coming loose. And what I do is just get another chunk of this, and if it comes loose after I'm done cutting, I'll put a little spot of tape, and I just won't worry about peeling the back off. Now we can do the bottom, and as you can see, I got quite a bit on the bottom here, so I could have brought it up a little bit further and probably saved myself a little bit of hassle, but it went good over there anyway. There, I'm going to bring this up. I'm going to peel a little bit of this back. I'm going to kind of give it a downward motion here. I'm making it a little too tight, to be honest. Doesn't need to be super tight yet again. We'll take care of that. And we'll allow, hold this up, pull a little bit, bring it down. And pull it up, finish it off. And that is pretty well installed. Now, obviously, you're not going to want to take it and leave it like this. Get yourself a good sharp blade once again, and go down. Give yourself a couple inches. You don't have to be perfectly right on the tape. You know, I don't know. You can do it as perfect as you want, but quite honestly, if this doesn't look good, no matter what you do, it's plastic over the top of windows. Also, something else, if you get a tear in this, you can take, you know, any kind of tape. You can use this. I usually actually go find thicker packing masking tape or something like that. And if there's a tear in it, like this is what happens with us. Our cat or our dog comes up here and scratches through it. You can tape that up, reheat it up, and you know, it's going to look like tape covering up a hole, but it does work, and you don't have to do the whole thing all over again, because this stuff will last about a year at a time. I have to do it every year. Alright, well, I found some wrinkles down here. And really, you want to kind of start in the middle, whether there's wrinkles or not, because that'll just kind of pull everything in from the sides, and then you work your way out to the sides. But I'll show you these wrinkles go away here.
magic.
Well, that'll about do it. I'm not asking for perfection here. I'm just trying to get it so it is a little bit more efficient on the heat, and also so it doesn't sit here blowing cold air over my wife's shoulders in her chair here. So anyhow, that'll do it for this one. I know it's a pretty simple project, but I figure I was doing it, might as well film it. Alright, this is Sam, Jack of all, Master of none. Y'all have a good one.